Welcome back, Sandwalkers. Today we're going to be going over what the exchange is in Dune Awakening and how it works. And as always, I wanted to remind you all that Dune Awakening is coming out on June 10th, but you can get early access to play on the 5th if you buy the Deluxe or Ultimate Edition. And if you do plan to pre-order or buy it, please consider using the link in the description, as it does help support me and my channel, and I would really appreciate it. And with all that out of the way, let's jump right into what the exchange is in Dune Awakening. In Dune Awakening, the exchange is far more than a simple auction house. It's a living, breathing economy that ties together survival crafting, PvE exploration, and MMO-style politics. By listing everything from base blueprints to rare deep desert schematics, players can become both producers and consumers, driving supply and demand cycles on each siege. Strategic pricing, proper timing, and savvy logistics, hub visits and tax payments ensure healthy market dynamics while accompanying currency sinks. Listing fees, base taxes, landsrad dues, you get the idea, help curb runaway inflation. Whether you're an aspiring architect selling Solito replicators, a scout hawking sync charts, or a spice baron offloading melange, understanding these mechanics is key to seizing control of Arrakis' economy, and ultimately influencing the fate of every great house. Now, what is the exchange, and why should you care? Imagine an auction house run entirely by players. No NPC shopkeepers, no fixed wares, instead anything from pre-built base blueprints to rare schematics for a shiny new rifle can be listed. This is the exchange, a centralized marketplace buzzing with supply and demand chaos that affects everything you do in Dune Awakening. You sell, you buy, and you make Solari. But there's more to it than meets the eye. Now, how do you access and get to the exchange? Well, it's not as easy as just clicking a menu. First things first, the only way to access the exchange is by physically being in one of the safe zone social hubs. Think Harko Village or Arakeen. No remote listings are available. You want to flip a rare blueprint? You better fire up that ornithopter, set your coordinates to the hub, and hope your flight isn't interrupted by a rogue sandworm. It could happen. Each server cluster, called a siege, has its own listings, so your fancy sync chart selling for top Solari in Harko Village on Siege A won't show up for someone on Siege B until they touch down in their hub. It's all local, all the time. Now, what can you sell and what's in hot demand? Well, for one, it's going to be Solito replicators. You love that forward operating base you built on Arkan Village? Well, someone else might want to replicate it exactly. A digital copy of your entire base layout. When someone buys it, they still need to grind for materials, but your architectural genius is theirs to duplicate. Straight up, if you've got a knack for combining style and function, you'll be printing Solari all day by selling these. Then there's sync charts, photography gold mines. Instead of wandering aimlessly through the Haga Basin for hours, savvy players map out every resource node, water, precious metal veins, hidden ruins, and package it all into what they call a sync chart. Buying a sync chart is like downloading the cheat codes for the desert. Map sellers become heroes, and wealthy ones at that. Then we have rare schematics. Looting a deep desert vault, you might unearth a knee charge pistol schematic, or a blueprint for a souped up harvester. You can either sell the raw schematic, letting buyers craft later, or build the gear yourself and sell the finished product. Pro tip though, check which option gets you more Solari. Sometimes the finished item fetches a premium. Then we have raw resources, because why not? Spice melange is the crown jewel. Controlling a spice blow zone is high risk, high reward. If your guild holds the area and harvests spice, you're sitting on barrels of profit. Raw materials, metal, glass, leather show up sometimes, but spice is the big mover. Its price fluctuates based on scarcity, especially if a worm migration cuts supply. The exchange is literally like a living, breathing stock market. When you find the exchange, this is how it works. You'll scroll up to the exchange terminal, select create listing, and choose your item. Say a Scorpio's blood bag schematic Mach 3. Decide if you want to set it at a fixed price, direct sell, or run an auction with a starting bid and optional buyout. You'll be able to pick a listing duration, anywhere from 12 to 48 hours, and brace yourself for a small fee. usually around 2 to 5% of your asking price, plus a hub tax. Yep, listing fee isn't free. Think of it as the city's cut for funding world-changing Landsrad events. Then you hit confirm and watch the Solari stack up, if you priced it right, of course. Now on the buyer side, let's talk about browsing and bidding. If you want a guaranteed insta-buy, you're going to want to scope out the direct buy. Find something you need and click purchase, and boom, the item appears in your trade locker along with your Solari disappearing into the ether. If you're feeling risky, jump into the auction, place a bid that outbids the current highest bidder. If no one outbids you before the timer runs out, you're the winner. If you get tired of bidding wars, hit the buyout price and make it yours instantly. Once you grab your purchase, check the trade locker, but remember, no take backsies. Double check before you confirm. Now let's talk about the different currencies here. I've been saying Solari a lot, but you might not even know what that is. So let's go over what Solari is and, basic other currencies. You earn Solari by completing faction missions, story quests, and PvE contracts early on. But in late game, if you're not playing the exchange right, you'll be broke faster than a Freeman without a crysknife. Then we have listing and hub taxes. A slice of every sale is taken out. Goodbye inflation. Then we have base taxes. If you own a base, you owe periodic taxes. Fall behind and your base starts decaying, then you have Landsrad dues. Every time your guild votes on those world-shaping Landsrad resolutions, you chip in. That money funds freaking galactic politics. It's serious stuff. Between those three, your Solari drains faster than spice through a worm's mouth. It keeps the economy healthy and ensures that no one's becoming a Solari god overnight. Now there is some market volatility. Prices will spike when new deep desert zones reset every week. You'll see a flood of sync charts hitting the exchange. 2 hours later, price cratered because everyone posted theirs. Pro tip, wait for that dust to settle if you want to buy low, and pick your listing time right if you want to sell high. Since all trades happen in the hubs, be prepared to carve out time just to get there. If enough players log in at once, hubs can queue lock you. You'll be waiting just to touch an exchange terminal. Veterans often plan their visits during off-peak hours, so keep that in mind. Ever tried listing an item only to discover your base taxes are past due? Awkward. The terminal literally stops you until you pay up. Now remember, using the exchange comes with some things here, alright? You're gonna need to make sure you pay your taxes. Don't pay your taxes, can't use the exchange. So whenever you go to head to the exchange and you get there and you open the little menu and it says, hey, you need to pay your taxes before you use the exchange, don't be surprised, then don't say no one told you. The design choice guarantees players recycle Solari back into the economy, basically. So you won't be able to just head to the exchange if you're past due on taxes. So pay your taxes, okay? Pay them. That goes for Dune Awakening and IRL too. I'm looking at you. Or me. Yeah, both of us. Yeah, let's pay our taxes. Now, direct player trades. Now, we're gonna go off here and I'll let you guys know. The exchange isn't really the only way, right? There are direct player trades. Not every transaction needs the exchange. If you and a buddy want to swap a schematic for Solari, or just trade gear, face each other, hold down the interact key, and select trade. Drag your items or cash, and both hit accept. No fees, no hub taxes, just a quick swap. Of course, you miss out on the wider market reach, so use it for private deals and maybe guild coordination. Here are some pro tips for becoming a tycoon in the exchange. Timing is going to be everything. List those new deep desert schematics right after reset. Everyone's scrambling and you'll ride the demand wave. Buy sync charts a few hours post reset when prices dip. Cartographers will flood the market. Price it smart. Check the recently sold tab before listing. Underpricing will net quick sales, but meh profits. Overprice and you'll watch your items collect dust. Buy or bid. Weigh your options. Just don't get outbid at the last second. Let's wrap this up. Navigating the exchange in Dune Awakening isn't just about lining your pockets. It's about weaving yourself into a rackets like political and economic tapestry. It's going to be required of you to somehow use this exchange in some way or another. That's going to be really it about Dune Awakening's exchange. So get out there, pay your taxes, and enjoy Dune Awakening. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope this explained what the exchange is and maybe helped you understand how you can really like take over the market using the exchange. If this did, make sure to like, subscribe for more Dune Awakening content from me, and I will see you guys in the next video, Sandwalkers.